When we come back here on the Golfi Real Estate Show, understanding your appraisal, we'll also talk about some disciplinary action regarding an illegal apartment and a car condo in Toronto. It's true. You're listening to the Golfi Real Estate Show, Hamilton edition on 900 CHML. Disappointed. Your thoughts on this car condo?
I understand. Toronto, I mean, they do lack space, and to buy a condo in downtown Toronto, having a parking space is an additional $50,000 to $100,000 to the condo purchase price. And in Toronto, you can do that. Like, I mean, you can live without a car in Toronto, because if you're living downtown, everything is downtown, and you can rent a car if you have to leave the town, if you have to go anywhere, for the day or whatever. But I mean, to me, I mean, I don't live in Toronto, so I mean, I think it's okay. Like, I mean, but they're not building it where you can build a condo building. They're building it where it's probably almost like industrial, where nobody else wants to live or can. So they're getting approvals for this, and who knows what are they charging per square foot on this one? It was like I don't have the prices here, Rick. Do you have the cost? I don't know.
I don't have the price point in front of me, but this is going to be in Etobicoke at the base of the Gardiner Expressway.
Yes.
So it's not in like a suburb or a a neighborhood. So the place is right. I guess with people screaming about lack of affordable housing or even housing supply, it's just funny that this company, this real estate brokerage, is building a condo for cars. I get it. In Toronto, it works.
Yeah, no, it does work in Toronto, because a lot of people have more than one car, and sometimes they have like their summer car. They just want to have it, so now they can go there, drive their regular car, and switch cars and drive this for the day or whatever. And I get it. Like they need parking spaces. Like and people are like, if you go online, you can find people are trying to sell, either selling their parking space or renting their parking space like it's an apartment.
There's a big opportunity here. I think that, like Rob said, there's people that have multiple cars. They drive whatever, and these are people who have obviously the money and the means, but they have their summer Porsche or whatever they have, their sports car. Where do they put that? They can only have one condo parking spot, and they need an alternative, and then this provides that niche service. So I think like everything else, it's about supply and demand, and there's a demand for this, so that's why they're building it. There's no other way to describe it. It doesn't make sense when there's people trying to figure out how to get into a home. No, but again, it's a business that
they're building in areas where a condo can't be developed.
That's right.
So it's not like it's taking anything, but I get it. In Hamilton, I mean, they're starting to build condos on parking lots. Like, look at what street is that where the restaurants are on, off of James Street? I'm going blank on that. King William. They're building they took away a parking lot there. No, and then there's the other one right across from Radius there. Another one going up there. So there's who knows how many 40, 50 parking spots gone. So it's going to hurt the restaurants unless they build parking. An underground parking for people to go there, and people in Hamilton aren't used to going to an underground parking spot unless they're going like to Jackson Square. But even just to go to a restaurant to go an underground parking spot, I think we're not in the groove of doing that.
Very common in Toronto. It's very common in Toronto.
So, but like, and then talking about buying a parking spot, I think if you're buying a condo in Hamilton downtown, you better make sure you buy a parking spot, because not everybody works downtown and lives downtown. Like we got people that are buying condos downtown, but they work maybe up on the mountain or work somewhere else. Like, they need a car still. And so you need a car in Hamilton regardless. But so buy a condo with a parking spot. But these parking lots here, I don't know if Hamilton's not ready for it, because there's lots of room here. But in Toronto, I get it. I see it, and people will pay for it. And people in Toronto have lots of money.
That's very true. They're spending some of that here in Hamilton, which is good. And, in some sense, it's bad for those who want to jump into the housing market because they're being priced out of it. When we come back, understanding your appraisal and some disciplinary action to share as well. You're listening to the Golfi Real Estate Show, Hamilton edition on 900 CHML. Understanding your appraisal. Is there some confusion over the appraisal process?
Yeah. So it's just the way they do it. Sometimes the appraisal value of your home. So there's a couple. There's the desk appraisal, and what that is, they do a drive-by. There's a desk appraisal. Now, a drive-by and a full appraisal are determination which appraisal lender uses, right? So a desk appraisal is one where appraiser goes online and looks at public records showing recent sales of similar properties in the area. A desk appraisal is typically the result of someone with a larger amount of equity, say at least 20-30% down. That's what the banks are looking for. Now, a drive-by appraisal, the appraiser first performs some online research and then literally drives by the property. Now, they did a lot of these drive-by appraisals through COVID. I mean, we're pretty well still through COVID, but they were like, these appraisers were loving it. They didn't even go in. They just like zip by, say, oh, okay, we know the house is there. And then they would just give their opinion on it. And then they call the agent and try to get as many pictures as they can inside. So literally, if somebody really wanted to, if they wanted to, they could have taken pictures of somebody else's house inside and said, yeah, this is my house. And they could have, if they were looking for refinance at the bank, yeah, this is my house. Here's the pictures. And the house looks like crap on the outside, but the house is so beautiful on the inside. The appraiser's going to go, okay, thank you very much. And then the guy got his appraisal in at $800,000. Meanwhile, it's only a $500,000 house. But appraisals are definitely something that the appraisers, they look at it, they go by history. They need 3 comparables to see that is similar to it. Banks want them. If it's a private deal, you definitely will need an appraisal because they want to make sure it's all above board versus as a real through a realtor, because all the information is there through a realtor. So appraisals, you know what? I mean, we need them. It protects the bank and to make sure that they are getting the value and you are getting the value in buying. I remember appraisals 20 years ago. Like if the house was off by $5,000, the bank said, no, you're going to have to put $5,000 more to buy that house.
On your deposit, yeah. No, yeah. We don't see a lot of that. I mean, we do still a lot of appraisals, or a lot of appraisals are obviously being conducted still in our properties. But I'll be honest with you, over this whole year, I haven't seen any appraisal come back and say, oh, there's a problem. So I think there's just, with the whole market going up, the appraisals are just saying, you know what, we're good. They just want to go see the property, make sure it's there. And they're going to support the appraisal and the price point that buyers bought it at.
All right, let's get to our last topic, a Real Estate Council of Ontario RICO disciplinary committee decision. This is a violation of the Code of Ethics, and I'll give you the quick summary, and you guys can jump on with your thoughts. There was an agent who represented the buyers of a residential property. The listing for the property stated that the property included a fully finished basement apartment. However, the apartment had not been approved by the local municipality and hence was not legal. So the buyers complained that they were not advised that the apartment was not legal, and the agent's position was that he orally informed the buyers that the apartment was not legal but did not do so in writing. So to avoid legal costs and to ensure that the buyers were satisfied with the service he provided, the agent paid the buyer $15,000 to resolve the dispute. The discipline committee from RICO found that the agent breached 2 sections of the Code of Ethics and was ordered to pay $4,000. So this agent is now out $19,000 for a simple mistake.
Yeah, it's, you know what, I feel sorry for that. So that's why you got to really watch when you're, there's a lot of basement apartments out there that are illegal. Now, the savvy investor doesn't care. He is going in, he goes, I got another apartment to rent out. But for the new investor, he's looking at it, and he's the one that seems to get in trouble. He's banking on that income as for that apartment, and that apartment's probably illegal. Now, a neighbor can call and say, hey, listen, you can't rent that out. But it could be an in-law, though. You can have a family member live there. Not a problem. They could pay rent to you. Not a problem if they're a family member. But this guy here probably bought this, and he probably knew about it. I don't know. There must have been some sour grapes between the agent and the client. I don't know, but be very careful. He should have said, listen, this is an in-law, but whatever the listing was written, it was written a separate apartment. But our job as a listing agent, we have to write the real thing what it is. And I don't know what went wrong here. There's more in-depth information that we have to dig for this. But when you're buying a house and it has an apartment downstairs, you should get a verification if it is a duplex, and you can get that from the city of Burlington or Hamilton or wherever. And we do that usually on duplexes. We always ask for a certificate of use for that property if it's being used as a duplex. But again, people be very careful when you're buying these houses. Sometimes the agents don't know, and if it's an agent that's not experienced enough, you may end up getting yourself in trouble. But thank God the agent's got insurance that can help you and cover you for that.
We got to run, guys. Rob, Lou, thanks for your time today, and thank you for listening to the Golfi Real Estate Show.